Good morning and welcome to this new webinar from ERA, the European Union Agency for Railways. I'm Cyril Martin, Communication Officer, and I will be your moderator. Today, we are very pleased and honored to welcome one of our sister European agencies based in Athens, ENISA, the European Union Agency for Cybersecurity. This joint webinar is part of the strong and continued collaboration between ERA and ENISA. We already had one webinar and one online conference together. Today, we are very happy to join our forces again to provide an update from both agencies on cybersecurity. From ERA's perspective, Thomas Châtelet, cybersecurity expert at ERA, will give a state of play of cybersecurity in railways. More precisely, he will tackle the necessary improvement of European railway regulatory framework to reflect the need for a better resilience to cyber threats. From ENISA's perspective, Marianti Theocaridou, cybersecurity officer at ENISA, will present ENISA's report on good practices in cyber risk management. Last but not least, we have the pleasure to have with us today the two executive directors of both agencies. Josef Doppelbauer, the ERA's executive director, will conclude this webinar. Before giving the floor to ENISA's executive director, Mr. Johan Lepassard, for the introduction, I'd just like to recall that you, dear attendees, are most welcome to ask questions to our experts using the chat function, which you will find at the top right-hand corner of your screen. You can also tag questions from other attendees which you judge valuable by clicking the thumb icon. We commit to reply to all the questions that will be asked during the broadcast. If we don't have time to do it live, then we will publish the answers afterwards on our website. A last word to say that this webinar is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel and our website in the coming days. May I now give the floor to Johan Lepassard, the Executive Director of ENISA, for some opening remarks. Unfortunately, Johan couldn't be here with us today, so he recorded a message for us.
Welcome to all participants joining today's webinar on managing cybersecurity risks in railways. Cybersecurity and the railway sector are closely knitted together. Railway is undergoing a major transformation. It is going through a digitalization and becoming more multimodal. It is a crucial sector for the movement of both people and goods and overall for European economy. This is why rail falls under the scope of the Network Information Security Directive, and rail actors are identified as operators of essential services. Rail systems are impacted by cybersecurity, and the sector's cybersecurity approach must evolve as both the sector is advancing technologically and as threats are evolving. Cyber risks may have an effect on railway safety, but also on the ability of infrastructure managers and railway undertakings to provide their services in a resilient manner. The EU Agency for Cybersecurity, ENISA, is committed to support the European Railway Agency, ERA, in ensuring the railway sector remains safe but also interoperable. This is why both ENISA and ERA are promoting cybersecurity practices to ensure the sector's future. We are very pleased to present good practices today on how to manage cyber risks. These were gathered in collaboration and support by the EU railway undertakings and infrastructure managers, the European Railway Information Sharing Analysis Centre, and the Association of European Rail Supply Companies, UNIFEM. There are multiple challenges that remain on how both operational technology as well as information technology practices interact with each other, how we can secure supply chain, how we can manage legacy systems, how to ensure that the cybersecurity of European rail traffic management system is ensured. We are pleased to continue the close collaboration and cooperation as witnessed by today's webinar. Next year, we will organize the second ENISA-ERA conference, where we will try to shed more clarity on the transport cyber threat landscape that is being developed. I wish you all a fruitful webinar.
Many thanks. Without further ado, I now give the floor to Thomas Châtelet, the cyber security expert at ERA. Please, Thomas.
Many thanks, Cyril. So again, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for being there today for this new webinar on ERA ENISA cooperation for cybersecurity in the railway domain. Today we are going to address two main aspects. The state of play on what's going on at ERA, but most importantly, and this will be the part of Marianty, the presentation of the reports they have been working on managing cybersecurity risks in railway sector. A very interesting report, and we will see that right after. Considering the activities on cybersecurity at ERA, you are probably familiar with the slide that is currently displayed. So this is just a reminder of how cybersecurity activities are structured at the agency. So we have the cooperation building, so the strong collaboration with ENISA, but also with the Commission, and I will come back at that right after. And we have, of course, the pillar on the regulation considerations, that is to say, how to improve the EU railway regulatory framework to take note and to reflect the evolutions on cybersecurity to make sure that the railway system is more and more resilient and adequate and appropriate for reflecting the cyber threats on the railway sector. So today, in this ERA state of play, we are going to focus on the common safety methods and how they are and they will evolve to reflect even more and more the cyber concerns, but also the technical specifications for interoperability, and namely the two that are already reflecting some aspects on cybersecurity, the telematic application for passengers and for freight, the TSI TAF, and also the command control and signaling technical specification for interoperability, the CCS TSI. So before entering into this detail of how the railway regulatory framework should evolve in the future to cope more with cyber threats, I have a message from the Commission. Some news from EC DigiMove on cybersecurity. Here, this is an information provided by the unit A5 in DigiMove, thanks to Alexis Perrier. Many thanks, Alexis, to inform you that they have this land security working party. And in one of the working groups of this Landsec, there is a permanent agenda on cybersecurity. So also from the Commission side, this cooperation building on cybersecurity is reflected in their activities. In addition to that, they have updated the version of their EC Transport cybersecurity toolkit. So here, this is transport, so encompassing railway, not only railway, but also the other transport modes, such as the maritime and the aviation. And you will be able, when this presentation will be made available, to click on this link and to land on the page where this EC Transport cybersecurity toolkit is available. And this is very, very valuable information in conjunction with what Marianty is going to present afterwards, hands-on how to develop cybersecurity best practices if you are a railway undertaking or an infrastructure manager, for example. With regards the activities, the core activities of the agency, that is to say, the common safety methods and the technical specifications for interoperability when we consider the EU regulatory, railway regulatory framework. I'd like to now enter into more details on what are the common safety methods and how they are possibly linked to cybersecurity. So the common safety methods are a set of methods and rules for railway undertakings or for infrastructure managers to apply the best practices and to describe how safety levels should be met, how achievement of safety targets and compliance should be performed, especially to harmonize them and to make sure that this is recognized EU-wide. Amongst the set of common safety methods, we have in particular the common safety method for risk assessment that defines in particular the process for technical, operational, or organizational changes. That is to say, what needs to be done from a process standpoint if you change something. What are the criteria to be fulfilled by an assessment body? So this is the ASBO, or Independent Safety Assessor, depending if you consider the CNELEC framework or the EU regulatory framework, and the harmonized design targets for the technical systems. For the time being, in that CSM for risk assessment, there is no particular requirement for cybersecurity. Several reasons for that. We know that cybersecurity is at a momentum in the railway sector, but from the safety culture, cybersecurity is very technical and quite recent, and this is why this is not yet reflected. We are engaged in discussions with the sector, with the national safety authorities, with the assessment bodies to try to reflect on how these common safety methods for risk assessment should make references to potentially cybersecurity guidelines or even cybersecurity requirements. For the time being, the mutual perception by the agency and by the stakeholders involved there is that there is a lack of maturity for very specific requirements, and that maybe the sector is not ready for that, especially if you consider that inserting a requirement for safety verification that would be linked to cybersecurity, this would need to be demonstrated by an independent safety assessor. So everybody here needs to be ready, the stakeholders from railway undertaking and infrastructure managers side, but also from the assessment body. And this is a balance that we need to adopt and to reach for inserting adequate requirements when everybody is ready for that. So at the agency, we have proposed a two-steps approach, and before entering specific requirements on cybersecurity that would be linked to the safety assessment, we would like to make a voluntary reference to the new CNELEC standard, the TS 5701, that has been developed by CNELEC Working Group 26. And we would like to make a reference to this specific specification in the CSM RA application guide, which is a guideline for how to implement and how to what are the best practices for implementing the CSM RA if you are a railway stakeholder. So we are in discussion with the sector now to update the CSM RA, and we will try to make an update of this CSM RA application guide where a reference for raising awareness on this new CNELEC TLS would be provided. So that was for the safety part. Or more precisely for the common safety methods, where the CSM RA is the most relevant. With regards to the technical specifications for interoperability, I like to present here in this slide a short reminder on the TAP-TAF TSI, so telematic applications for passengers and for freight. So we have there the regulations highlighting those technical specifications for interoperability. The TAP-TAF TSI are, in a few words, describing the business-related data exchange between the railway actors. So this is the when, the what, the whom, the how to exchange information between, for instance, a railway undertaking and an infrastructure manager on e.g. timetable or on composition of trains. So those are business-related data, but those TSIs are saying how they should be exchanged. And there is the concept of common interface for exchanging those data-related information. And there we have already high-level requirements for the databases, for the networking and communication protocols, the security, and the encryption using, for instance, public key infrastructure. So there we have already in those TSIs high-level requirements about cybersecurity to protect that data that is exchanged between the railway stakeholders. Of course, this is left for implementation because that's more practical like that, and also because this is the business of the infrastructure managers and the railway undertaking to agree on the technical details for exchanging. However, those high-level requirements are there, and this is mandatory to protect the exchange of that. In the future, we might have some evolutions, especially with regards to the concept of the EU mobility data space. That is a topic for the Commission, and there the governance of this EU mobility data space might have an influence on the TAF TSI. Also, for the time being, for ticketing system, the concept of the PKI is not totally validated, and we see that this could be an improvement for the system, especially when referring to the protection of barcode-based tickets. Now, with regards to the CCS TSI, my favorite TSI because, of course, I'm working in the ERTMS unit. So in the CCS TSI, here again, you have the link to the regulation that is commanding the implementation of this TSI. We have the essential requirements of the onboard and trackside CCS subsystems. So this is onboard and this is trackside, and the essential requirements are covering safety, reliability and availability, and the technical compatibility. In practice, this is governing how ETCS and voice data radio communication, now in GSMR, but further on in FRMCS. This is how those specifications needs to be implemented for an harmonized interoperability. This is also encompassing the train detection. Within this CCS TSI, we are defining what is called the interoperability constituents and their interfaces. I like to focus on one of a system that is described in the CCS TSI, and this is ETCS, the European Train Control System, where we have specific requirements already now, and this is from some time ago, specific requirements for the authenticity and the integrity of the ETCS messages that are exchanged. So this is defined very specifically in what we call the subset 37. And we have also the secure distribution of the cryptographic keys for those ETCS entities, it's on board or trackside, in the subset 137. So those two sets of specifications are already introducing very specific requirements on the way we should protect the messages between ETCS entities. I like to focus on what are the planned enhancements for the next CCS TSI, so for the update 22-23. So first of all, we have also an application guide for the CCS TSI, so a guide how to implement the CCS TSI. And in this application guide, we would like to reference voluntarily, in the same way as the application guide for the common safety method for risk assessment, the new CENELEC TS 5701, because this is a very useful step for raising awareness of the railway stakeholders on what are the security risks and what are the possible mitigations. So first of all, this is the first step we would like to take. Then we will have a new subset that will be introduced about the end-to-end authentication between ETCS entities and between ATO entities. ATO is automatic train operation. And to make sure that those messages sent in automatic train operation will be securely dispatched, there will be this new subset 146. And here I'm very glad to rely on the support from ENISA, because we are touching with cybersecurity mechanisms there, and ENISA committed to help us in the review of this subset 146. And I'm very grateful for them, for Marianty in particular, to help us review if the best practices described in this new subset 146 are the state-of-the-art practices in cybersecurity. In the planned update of the CCS TSI, we will have also the introduction of FRMCS, which is the successor system for telecommunication for GSMR. And there, as FRMCS is planned to be based on 5G, and for some more specific implementation, MCX, so the mission critical video, mission critical data protocols, we know that the transport and the service stratum are going to be much more secure compared to GSMR. So this will be also an improvement when we will have FRMCS, and we will be able to reach this security by design and security in depth, because not only the signaling applications are going to be protected, but also the telecommunication layer will be protected. With regards to the future evolution that could be considered in a later stage for the CCS-TSI, we know that there is this debate on if the triple-DES protocol that is currently used for authenticity and integrity of ETCS messages should be replaced, because some studies have demonstrated that this protocol is at risk. This is something that we will consider together with the sector, and UNIFE and UNISIG are very active in this domain, to potentially consider an update of this protocol to increase the resilience of, in this case, the signaling application. With this presentation, I'd like to thank you very much, and I hope I gave you a good snapshot on what is it that we are doing together with ENISA at ERA those days to try to improve the cybersecurity resiliency. Without further ado, I will now like to pass the floor to Marianthi for the presentation of the report from ENISA. Marianthi, the floor is yours.